Everybody saying that you're gonna leave me.
Yeah, we gotta know.
Now, what do you remember about the music?
Well, I remember it reminded me of times when I had worked with the Ohio Players. They were a self-contained group. They didn't just sing, they played and sang, you know. Today, a lot of groups, everything is done computerized, and most of the guys don't be playing on instruments, but they played the instruments and they performed the music, which was outstanding.
What's catchy? I mean, everything. Their style, their fashion, their funk. I mean, they're one of the most prolific bands of the century, and they're like the best kept, worst kept secret ever because they're about to blow up. We know about them, but the rest of the world is about to know what we already know. I said, do y'all know what time it is? It's party time. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one, the only, the classiest band around. Let's stand up and make some noise for the Klass Brotherhood!
Got to put the green light on him. Because it's about to make it do what it do, baby. See what I'm saying? The concept was based on just the realness of what we are and who we are. We always wear suits. We always like to dress, and we always we were always influenced by groups that like to dress. Sort of like, you know, the time man, and the time, you know, got their stuff from older groups like the Shalites and stuff like that. And coming up with that concept, I figured it would be best to do a concept like that because in the Southern Soul market, that concept just did not exist. And so we're just trying to give them something different, you know, and give them something that was familiar to hopefully people would grab onto it. And that was the whole making of the concept and the whole making of the direction we were taking the group into. And it was something that I had envisioned, and I ran it by everybody else, and they were like, yeah, let's do it, I'm in. So we pulled out the old suits out of the closet, decorated it with cufflinks and shiny stuff. And of course, buttons, baby. You got to have buttons.
The fat man in here tonight. Where is he at? Where is he at? Give me the Minnesota fat. Give me the Minnesota fat, y'all. The one and only we call him the Godfather on the video, you know what I mean? I think I see him back there. I see the hat.
So this particular day, let's say 5, 6, 7 years later, Nelson comes back in my office one day and without any appointment. So they says, Nelson Curry is here to see you. I said, well, it's Friday. I'm trying to get out of here. Tell Nelson to come on back. So I'm in there scheduling music. All the music that you see here in the studio, I actually schedule on both Power 107 and 96.3 Kiss FM. So I'm sitting in my office, and he said, yeah, Fats, I got something I want you to hear. I said, okay, let me sit here and listen to this. So I'm scheduling music. I slide the CD in, and it's no one else but me and him sitting in the in my office. It's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I stick the CD in, and I hear, yes, you did. My baby's gone, and I'm all alone. I gotta go back to the Sugar Shack. Because I listened for hooks, and I was like, wow, Sugar Shack. I started thinking about that for a moment. I was like, wow, everybody have experienced a hole in the wall, everybody's experienced a juke joint in some life, and throughout the course of their lifetime, if they ever go out to a club or party, they've been into a juke joint, a hole in the wall, and of course, a sugar shack. I was like, wow. I stopped, and I was like, wow, this is something special. This is a hit.
Y'all give it up for the one and only Hey, y'all.
Put your hands together. We're Mickey from the Klass band. Brotherhood, let's get this thing down the floor tonight. Let's get this damn party started. Come on.
So I get on the phone, and I start calling record executives in New York. I call Jive Records, I call RCA Records, I call AJ Savage, Larry Kahn, I call Sony Records. I said, hey, this is Fats in Augusta at Clear Channel. Listen, you guys are my friends. I very seldom call you for any favors unless it's Kiss Family Reunion or Power Fest. I said, you know, but I'm calling you about a record that I have in Augusta that is a hit. This is before I even put the record on the air. But the record had such a distinct sound because on Kiss, of course it was more so adult urban. So, you know, the record wouldn't really fit on a mainstream hip hop station like Power. So with Kiss, I said, you know, we were doing this thing called Way Back Wednesdays. And I said, well, this record will fit here. Let me just try this, right? So, you know, this particular day, I set up the record that Wednesday. I said, well, Nelson, I think we on to something here. I said, this is something special about this record. But this is Friday, but I can't commit to putting the record on until Wednesday because I think, you know, it will be out of the norm if I play this record during the regular format of the radio station. Let's see, will this record grow? So Wednesday, Way Back Wednesday, I said, coming up at 7:30, we're going to debut the Klass band's Sugar Shack. Intro the record, put the record on, the phones goes bananas.
The sound that we're trying to convey, or the sound that we're trying to put in the market, is an old school soul sound mixed in with some Minneapolis grooves to create what we call that Georgia liner neo blues sound. So if you hear something that may sound like, oh, that sounds like a Prince riff, or oh, that sounds like an Otis Redding groove, because my voice has an old school sound, like the singers from back in the day, and our music just has a unique blend of all of those things, like the Minneapolis sound, whether it's Minneapolis sound, the old R&B, and the soul. We're trying to put soul into this thing, because anytime you put soul into a song or into the music, it'll always grab people. You want to catch them from inside. You're not just here, you want to catch them in here.
The Klass band brings a breath of fresh air to, you would say, Southern soul, blues. But there's something special about their music. They really changed the whole climate of how you defined, I would say, blues or Southern soul. I would say there's a mixture of everything that the Klass band has really developed into the ears of many core blues listeners, core neo soul listeners, core R&B listeners. It starts with the sound that they deliver. It was like a breath of fresh air, because it took the blues market by storm. Because it had such a mass appeal, but a different appeal, that when you go into a nightclub, someone that is 35 to 44 or 25 to 34 could relate because of the texture and the mixture of music and the sound. Here we're talking about the Prince, the Time Band, the neo soul, the Southern soul, the blues. It's just a mixture of one.
Look at how many people on this dance floor. Look at how many having a good time, baby. Look at how many people on this dance floor. Look at all of the women so fine. My woman, yeah, decided to dance the night away. We were here to party all night long, and then they played some Johnny Taylor.